Back in August when I started at size 18, and I had written down my goal was to become size 12. Well, this week when I went shopping, I pulled out size 12 and I was like, yes, I was able to wear that size like for the first time since like 7th grade, over 30 years.
When you were able to put those on, like, how did that feel inside?
Oh, that was amazing, amazing, because I was like looking at them on the rack like, no, they're not going to fit me. They're just not. Like I haven't, 7th grade, I mean, over 30 years ago since I've put this size on, right? And so I put them on, I buttoned them up, and I was like, oh, these are actually on my body and they fit. I can't believe it. It felt so good. So just the difference in mindset for me, just because I haven't seen myself as that small of a person, where other people will be like, oh, I'm huge if I'm that size. But for me, it feels so good to be here.
Welcome to Beyond the Scale, the show where everyday heroes share their stories on how they turn their lives around for the healthier. I'm Coach Brittany, and today I'm really excited because I have a special guest, Elisa McCutcheon, with me. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. Thanks for coming out from Contra Loma Fit Body Bootcamp, right?
In Antioch, California.
All right. So before we get started, because I really want to hear about your fitness journey, but before we jump into that, I want to play a game called Rapid Fire.
Okay.
Okay, so basically I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just answer off with the quickest answer you could think of, okay?
Got it.
Okay, here we go. What's your favorite food?
Healthy food would have to be like perfectly grilled chicken and asparagus. Junk food, popcorn.
Okay. What flavor popcorn? Just regular buttery?
Regular popcorn.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Healing people. I think that would be my superpower, so that I could help people who are needing healing.
I like that. I like that. What is your favorite memory?
My favorite memory would have to be being on vacation with my husband and just sitting on a beach, relaxing, enjoying time together.
Yes, not a care in the world, right?
Absolutely.
What's one thing that's on your bucket list?
On my bucket list, I think traveling. I love to travel. I've been to Mexico, all kinds of places around this beautiful country that we live in, and I just love to go and explore and see new things. So my bucket list is just to get to as many places as I can.
Okay. And what has been your biggest accomplishment?
I would say my biggest accomplishment is raising my kids and the way that they've turned out to be strong, confident young women. And also, I'm a teacher, so I feel like every class that I have had over 17 years of teaching, every time they walk out and they know something about math that they didn't know before, I feel like that's an accomplishment.
Okay. What's your favorite hobby?
I love to hike and bike ride and occasionally read when I have time.
Okay. And what's the next challenge you want to accomplish?
Well, right now we're doing the New Year, New You challenge.
Okay.
And so that's the focus right now, is trying to get another 4 weeks of just the healthiest eating and constant workouts. And for myself, I think I'm working on just increasing my overall fitness level and being healthy. That's the biggest challenge.
All right. And lastly, what is your life motto?
Oh, my life motto. Wow. I think be kind to others and enjoy every moment.
There you go. Well, you survived rapid fire. Thank you for playing.
Sure.
You did a great job. But now it's time to jump into it, your story and how you got to where you are today. So how long have you been at Fit Body Bootcamp for?
I've been at Fit Body Bootcamp since August, so that is about 5 or 6 months that I've been there. And when I first started, I had been kind of doing some working out things like hiking and biking, but I was at the heaviest point I've ever been in my life. And my husband, who's also a teacher, some of his colleagues said, hey, you want to do this thing, this drop pounds, get paid challenge? And I was like, I don't know. It's right at the beginning of the school year when life is the craziest and most hectic for a teacher. But I knew I wanted to do something different because I had been to the doctor a few months before. And when they did my blood sugar test, it put me at like, you're at risk of diabetes right now if you keep where you are. And I thought maybe this will be just the right kick in the pants that I need to get going. And honestly, that like, here's my $250 and I could get it back was for me, because I'm really frugal, like, okay, I can do this. I've got this. I'm not cheating. I'm going to the workouts. The way that the workouts were only 30 minutes, they were fitting my schedule just perfectly. And as we went with the challenge, it was like, I can do this. My family was also doing it, my husband, my daughter, and it just worked so well. My daughter and I would sit together at the end of the day like, okay, I'm really craving some food, but we're working on this $250 thing. So we would like start singing, $250, $215. And we would like, okay, we're not going to eat that. We're going to stick to what's on our meal plan. And we ended up I lost 21 pounds in that challenge in that 6 weeks. And it felt so good beyond losing that weight. It felt so good to just like, for the first time in my life, fit clothes that hadn't fit in a long time, to feel confident and strong when I was working out. And it was amazing. It just, the transformation that happened, we're like, we're going to keep at this. We're going to keep doing it. And so we did. We just kept going. And as of right now, I've lost another 25 pounds. So we're 45 pounds into this.
Congratulations.
I'm super excited by that. But also I'm just excited at how good I feel, how healthy I feel, how much energy I have during the day, and I love it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that is way better having than even looking at the pounds lost
exactly
on the scale. So you went to the doctor, were like borderline diabetic, and your husband's colleagues were doing this challenge. If it weren't for those two things coming together at the same time, do you think you would have started your fitness journey?
I don't think so. I mean, I've struggled with weight my whole life. So since I've been probably a freshman in high school, have felt like, okay, I'm the fat girl. I'm going to stand in the back of the picture. I'm going to try to wear, the baggy clothes to hide the rolls that are inside my shirt or whatever. And I've lost weight before. After my kids were born, I lost 50 pounds, just counting calories, working out at home while they would work out beside me. But over the past 20 years, that just kind of gradually crept on. And it was like my brain knew what I needed to do. It knew, okay, you can't eat this way. You can't keep doing this. But my body just didn't listen. And I think I was in that cycle of like eating sugar and then like, oh, I just can't stop. I have to have more.
So addicting, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And breaking away from that and learning how to eat differently, to eat healthy foods and what my body needs. It's like now I can look at, oh, there's the donuts at work, and I'm not like, oh, I gotta have that, and oh, I'm gonna go in at break and get another one.
Yeah.
It's easier to say, no, I don't want that. That's not gonna help me feel good. So I feel like that is the biggest gain that I didn't have before when I've lost weight, is that feeling of like, no, I know now that I can do it, and I have the tools and I have the team to help me stay focused on my goals.
Yeah, I love that you said that you can do it now. So back in high school when you were overweight and struggling with that, did you like label yourself as the heavy girl?
Oh yeah.
Did other people label you as that?
I think I felt that way. I was the heaviest one in my family. My sisters and parents are all thin and petite people. And so I labeled myself that way. That's just who I am. And it's just something, even now I go to the store and I like, when I'm shopping for clothes, I head to that section of clothes. It's like, oh, those don't fit me anymore. Like I still have that mental image that I'm working on, like changing my mental image of myself, that I'm not that person and I don't have to be that person anymore.
Exactly. That's huge. I mean, that's life-changing at the end of the day, because like what other opportunities or things have happened in your life for the good because of that change in your life?
Well, I think obviously for my health, but I think as I've been working with my family for my daughter's health too, we've been on this journey together. And to see the change that's happened for her, it feels like I can be strong so she can be strong and we can do it together.
Yes.
And to see her also making that change when she's still young and still has her whole life ahead of her where she can be strong and confident that whole time. To me, that's I don't know how to even describe that feeling. That's an amazing feeling.
I bet. And I love that you guys had that support with each other. Like, not only did you have the boot camp support, but like, I love the song that you guys sang, you know, to keep yourselves motivated and prove like you're a role model to her, I'm sure, because, you know, you labeled yourself as the heavy girl, as I'm always going to be this way, I struggle with this. And now it's like, no, you've overcome that. You're changing your self-esteem. And like you said, she's still young. And she's going to grow up so strong and be able to overcome so many things in life just because of this fitness journey that you guys started together, which is amazing.
It is, right. And I think the great thing is you realize, you know, this thing that I've always thought is who defines me, that is this huge obstacle that I'll never be able to overcome. Once you do, it's like, well, now what? I can do anything. I really can. I feel that way. And I hope she does too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy what fitness can do to change your mindset.
Yes.
Like, you just have to get yourself there. You have to want it for yourself and get yourself there. So what do you think, so when you did that initial challenge, what do you think the turning point was for you to realize like, wow, I'm going to like really stick to this now?
I think just the fact that, well, like I said, I'm frugal. So I wanted that money back. I'm not going to lie. I was like, no, I want that money back. That helped me. And in the back of my head, I knew, okay, if I can stick to this, I've got this motivation. And just after that first week of eating the meal plan and working out, it was like, okay, we haven't died. We are still alive.
Right.
We're sore as can be, but to be able to talk about it together, like, oh, my glutes hurt, my quads hurt, you know, and have that conversation like every night at the dinner table, like, yeah, how many burpees did you do in that? You know, to have that conversation, that common language was really great. And at the end of the day, like, okay, we didn't sit down at the TV and like have a snack before bed. We had a cup of tea instead or whatever. And we did it and we survived to be able to, I think that was the turning point where it's like, okay, we made it through this day. It's doable. We can do it again tomorrow. And it just was kind of like a day by day thing. Like, we made it through today. We did it. We can do it again tomorrow. And it's still that way. Like, you know, every time that we've gone somewhere or, you know, we did stay closeted in our house, I think, for 6 weeks, just so we would do all the cooking. We did not go out to eat. We didn't do anything like that. But I think now we're more confident and like, okay, we did it today. We can do it again tomorrow. And just have that, you know, a little bit at a time mindset rather than, oh, it's this huge challenge that we're not going to be able to tackle. It's this giant mountain, but seen as one day at a time.
And as simple as that seems, that is the key to so many things in life. Take it little by little at a time, and then it slowly just becomes routine, a lifestyle, and the next thing you know, you're like on to being the best you. So I want to go back to talking about food real quick because you mentioned, you know, you used to just eat all the sugars and stuff and then want more and more, but once you were able to cut ties with that, like donuts don't tempt you anymore, you're able to stay on track with that. So what type of effect does eating healthy food have on your body that you've noticed like as a benefit?
I think the biggest benefit is not having cravings. Like, I feel before, like you said, I think sugar is an addiction.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that not feeling like I was in control of what I was eating before. Like my mind would say, no, don't eat that. You can't eat that. But then there it was, and I would eat it and feel guilty. Like, I know I shouldn't be eating this, but I'm going to eat it because it's here and it looks so good. And I don't know how to explain that to somebody unless you've been and experienced that. But once we've like got through, it usually took about a week before those cravings went away when we cut sugar altogether. And then it was like, wow, I'm not craving that anymore. Just that feeling of like, now I'm in control of what I'm putting into my mouth and into my body, not just this unthinking.
Like your body just moves even though you're saying, no, and it's just moving, throwing it, yeah.
Yeah, so my mind and my body are now in harmony, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So during that week that you said it took before you stopped having those cravings, what did you do to make sure you like were staying away from the sugar?
Well, we cleared it out of the house altogether.
Okay.
We got rid of everything that we could, there was no temptation, and that helped a lot. And then really just looking forward to, like we were doing the Drop Pounds Get Paid challenge, and we had the meal plan, and having everything prepared and planned out to like, okay, it's only another hour and a half and I can have my yogurt snack, or it's only an hour and a half and we're gonna have dinner. Having that, it was like every 2.5 hours we were eating, it made it so that it was doable for that week. It was like, yeah, I'm hungry, but I'm not gonna die. I'll have some more water and I can make it till the next time. But then gradually as we kept with that, it was, we didn't feel hungry. It wasn't hunger, it was the cravings, but then gradually those went away. And so then it was like, okay, now it was easier to stick to that every 2.5 hour eating plan.
I like that. So now I want to kind of dive into the New Year, New You challenge that you're in the middle of right now. How is that going, and what are your goals? Like, how much do you want to lose or gain muscle?
Well, I think we're halfway through.
Okay.
And I really, this time around, was less focused on the pounds as I want to get to a certain size. So back in August when I started at size 18, and I had written down my goal was to become size 12. Well, this week when I went shopping, I pulled out size 12 and I was like, yes, I was able to wear that size like for the first time since like 7th grade, over 30 years. And that was a huge challenge or a huge accomplishment, I felt like. So I feel like I've got another 4 weeks. I'm hoping maybe one more clothing size down. And really, I've been noticing that I'm feeling really strong when I'm working out with weights or, doing squats or whatever, but I want to keep working on my cardio so that I can do, like when we do cardio, like jump squats or jumping lunges, so that I can do the whole thing without having to like stop and catch my breath. So that's my goal, is to be able to do a 30-minute like cardio without having to stop and catch my breath. So I'm close. Yeah. But that's, I think, where I'd like to get in the next 4 weeks.
I love those goals. But okay, so talking about those size 12 pants real quick, when you were able to put those on, like, how did that feel inside?
That was amazing. Amazing, because I was like looking at them on the rack like, no, they're not going to fit me. They're just not. Like, I haven't, 7th grade, I mean, over 30 years ago since I've put this size on, right? And so I put them on, I buttoned them up, and I was like, oh, these are actually on my body, and they fit. I can't believe it. It felt so good. It really did. It felt amazing. Nice. And, other people, I had a conversation with my friend, like, she is working towards a size 12. She's like, I feel so happy. I don't even want to be. I'm like, I'm excited to be there. So just the difference in mindset for me, just because I haven't seen myself as that small of a person, where other people will be like, oh, I'm huge if I'm that size. But for me, it feels so good to be here. And amazing feeling.
I love your confidence and bubbliness and energy that that I'm feeding off of you. Have you always been like this, or is it now that you have this like newfound confidence, or has that just always been you?
I think I've always been kind of energetic and bubbly, but I'm also a quiet person, so it kind of depends on how comfortable I feel.
Okay.
I would say I feel more confident in general. So for example, I went on a field trip with some of my students. We went on an overnight outdoor ed field trip.
Okay.
And some of the younger kids were like, do you want to learn how to do the floss, Mrs. McCutcheon? I was like, sure, let's go for it. So they taught me how to do the floss. And I never would have done that before. Like everybody was filming it on their phone. I was like, yeah, we'll do the floss. And they loved it. And so I was just like, I think in that way, like I'm more confident in just being out and doing maybe some silly things in front of people that I don't feel like okay, maybe I'm going to look stupid, but at least I won't feel fat and stupid. I'll just be silly stupid.
I like that, breaking apart that shell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to know now, what does living beyond the scale mean to you?
Living beyond the scale means to me that I feel more confident. I feel stronger. I feel like in my own skin. I'm comfortable. I feel like it means I don't have to hide in the back of the picture. I can be in the front of the picture. I feel like it means I'm not so worried about what that number is as I am like, look at what clothes I can fit into now, or how I feel in front of other people, that I feel like I'm not being criticized or judged in people's minds by what I look like at that moment. I guess that's what it is for me. It's being definitely confident in my own skin.
It's all about those we like to call them non-scale victories. Mm-hmm. Like you said, fitting in the pants you want to fit in, feeling great how you want to feel. Mm-hmm. And I like that you mentioned like not thinking people are criticizing you, because a lot of times we aren't present because we're assuming what other people are thinking of us, but really it's just us thinking that of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so like that just allows you to be so much more present with people and have richer relationships and just a richer life at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really happy for you. I'm excited for everything that you've done, those 45 pounds, fitting in size 12. You're only halfway through the challenge. You still have 4 more weeks to go, and I can tell you're just going to continue on hitting more and more goals as time goes on. So really excited for that. I hope I get to see you at the gala after.
Oh, that would be amazing.
New Year, New You Challenge Gala. Really excited for. Mm-hmm. I want to thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you, Brittany.
For our listeners out there, do you have any words of encouragement or advice if they're in the New Year, New You Challenge that you want to give?
I would just say find a strong team to support you. I know at Contra Loma Fit Body Boot Camp in Antioch, we have a really great coach, Coach Marcy. She is encouraging. She kicks your butt every time, and she always like, if you miss, where have you been? We missed you. But more than that, having a teammate who can hold you accountable, like without judging. You know, how'd you do with your meal plan today? How did you do? I know you had to go to this event. How did you do when you were there? And having somebody to talk to and hold you accountable and be a team with you, I think that's super important.
For those of you in the Antioch area, make sure you go to Contra Loma Fit Body Boot Camp. And if you're not in the area, make sure you check out fitbodybootcamp.com to find a location near you and claim your 3 free workouts. Until next time.